Let me say something that usually pisses traders off. Trading is like playing in the casino. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it as a reality check. Most traders reject this idea immediately because they've spent months, sometimes years, trying to distance themselves from gamblers. They want trading to feel intelligent, controlled, and professional. But the moment you deny the probabilistic nature of trading, you start trading emotionally instead of statistically. And that's where things break. The casino comparison triggers people because casinos represent randomness and traders hate randomness. Most traders want certainty. Certainty that a setup will work, certainty that they're right, certainty that losses means something went wrong. So when someone says trading is probabilistic, it feels like, then what's the point of learning anything? But that's the wrong interpretation. Probability doesn't mean no skill. It means skill expresses itself over a series of trades, not one outcome. And until you accept that emotionally, not just intellectually, you'll keep fighting the market. Let's talk about how casinos actually operate. A casino doesn't know which hand will win. They don't know which spin hits red. They don't know which player walks out rich tonight, and they don't care. Why? Because they're not focused on outcomes. They're focused on process plus volume. They know the edge is small. Variance exists. Losing streaks are normal. But over enough repetitions, the math always wins. Casinos don't chase losses, raise the stakes after a winning streak, or close up shop after a losing night. They let the edge play out. Now compare that to the average trader. Most traders behave like gamblers emotionally, even if their strategy has an edge. They size up after a win because they feel confident, hesitate after a loss because they feel off, interfere mid-trade because they want control. They call this experience or intuition, but most of the time it's just emotion in disguise. A casino never says, "This table feels different today." But traders do this constantly, and every time you interfere, you reduce the number of trades needed for the edge to work. Now, here's the part people miss when they say, trading is just gambling. Not all gambling is the same. There's reckless gambling, no edge, no rules, no risk control. And then there's calculated risk, where outcomes are uncertain, but the structure is controlled. That's trading. A trader controls risk per trade, frequency, position size, and when to stop. You don't control outcomes. You control exposure. That's the difference between being the player and being the house. The house accepts losses. The house survives long enough for probability to matter. Most traders do not. The hardest part of trading isn't learning entries. It's accepting that a good trade can lose, a bad trade can win, and neither outcome means much on its own. Once you truly accept that, trading changes. It becomes quieter, less dramatic, and less personal. Wins stop exciting you as much. Losses stop wrecking your mood. And that's usually when consistency starts to show up. Not because you suddenly got smarter, but because you stopped fighting reality. So yes, trading is like playing in the casino, but only if you're doing it wrong. If you're chasing certainty, avoiding losses, and reacting emotionally, you're the player. If you're managing risk, following rules, and letting the odds play out, you're building the house. And the moment you stop trying to win every trade and start thinking in probabilities, trading stops feeling like gambling and starts feeling like a business. Remember, a casino doesn't judge a single hand, and neither should you judge a single trade. The edge doesn't show up in one spin or one session, it shows up over volume, when the same rules are applied without emotion. The moment you start reacting to outcomes, you stop thinking like the house and start thinking like the player. And in trading, the player eventually gives it all back.